Hi, this is Mary from OpenHelix with this week's Tip of the Week. Today I'm going to be talking about CompaGB, a tool that will let you compare genome browser software with some standardized metrics. But I won't be able to cover all the features of CompaGB in this short movie, so please be sure to check out our blog at blog.openhelix.com for additional details about this tool, about the paper that's associated with it, and other links to related resources as well. So check us out at blog.openhelix.com if you're watching us from some other site. But let's move over to talk about CompaGB now and focus on that. So here we are at CompaGB. This group from INRAW has developed this project to evaluate software based on some specific criteria that provides a metric system where you can evaluate the different genome browsers, in this case, by specific numerical criteria. So CompaGB is described here on their homepage. You can learn more about what is CompaGB and their inspirations for the project that they've taken on here. You can learn more about how to use the feature specifically in their tutorial. I won't be covering that today, but come back and check that out. Now you can log in and register, and you can actually contribute to this as well. I won't do that for our purposes today. I'm just going to browse around, but you can log in and register. But let's compare software features. That's the main focus of what I wanted to show today. So let's choose the Compare Software Features tab to begin to do that. So the first thing that you have to do is select the genome browsers that you want to compare. Now at this time it's kind of a limited set of browsers, as you can see, but they can add more over time, and other people can add more as well. And what you might want to do, you might want to be making a comparison between a couple of different versions of software in this case. So here there's a version of one gbrowse that the 1.69 is still widely in use, and there's also the version 2s which have been appearing, and so those are both available at this time widely. And then after you've made your selections, they appear here. I can click Next, and then I choose the different profiles that are possible here. You could choose to look at this from the perspective of a biologist, which is not what I'm going to do because I'm largely focusing on end-user training of biologists. But if you were a computer scientist, you might be interested in other features, and you could choose that profile as well. You can customize the weights. So if there's something that you consider not so important or very important, you could set those weights differently. Now, if I choose this, I've selected all criteria, and I will see the results for all of the criteria. Or you could open it up, and you could choose to look at different subsets of features that are available here. And there we go. So you have a lot of different criteria that have been evaluated here. Now, because I've selected all criteria, that will evaluate all criteria right now. So if I choose Next with my biologist profile, here, I'm going to evaluate this based on these the settings that I've selected. And here are the two versions of gbrowse compared, and you can see the color code is down here. On this radar plot, you can see that the two versions of gbrowse are actually rather similar, which might not be a surprise between two different versions of software. You can also look at the table view to look at the features in more detail. And so the same plot that we just saw, you can see the specific scores that are provided here. And if you click Info, you'll get information about that specific item that is shown on the table here. But let me click back to the radar for now. So that shows you how you could compare two versions of software in this case. But let's go back and look at two very different types of software. So what I would like to do is compare Ensemble and the UCSC Genome Browser. These are both widely used genome browsers, but they are very different software. I want to click Next. I'm going to leave my profile as biologist again. I'm specifically interested in some of the features, though, that might be specific to, for example, services. If I open the services here, one of the features that might be interesting is training. And so I'm going to show you what the comparison is between training. And there is a bit of a difference between the UCSC Genome Browser and the Ensemble tools by consideration of training features. I'm going to click the table view to understand why the scores are different. And so if I look at this, UCSC Genome Browser gets a 1, and the Ensemble browser gets a 2, so I click the info to see that. So we've got video tutorials, yes. Walkthrough and exercises by Ensemble, we have that for UCSC Genome Browser too. Hundreds of workshops, we've done lots of workshops around the world. And so let's see what UCSC says. Yeah, not as much. And we know there's more available. Anyway, so that's the kind of thing you can know, and at least you know why it's scored a different way. And so you can understand how they've done that. Go back to the radar view. So anyway, that gives you an overview of CompaGB. Check it out for yourself. Thanks for your time.